Hello again, it's Noob, and well, we're really lucky in the lockpicking, locksport world that we have so many great options for these emergency escape, emergency pick sets, whatever you want to call them, and yeah, so many out there. I know Legal Lockpicker did a whole series on them recently. I've reviewed a few. I've even designed a few myself, actually. But when I saw this online, and it was less than £20. And it was in the UK. Despite the way it looked, I just thought I had to have a go. I had to see what it was like. I'll be really upfront with you straight away. I'm not expecting much just looking at this and the size of the tools. But nevertheless, I will try to be as fair to it as I can, and we'll talk about the good bits and the bad bits. And if they still have these in stock, because I think this was the last one when I bought it, I'll leave a link below so you can buy one if you wish. But yes, this is a Ready Man hostage escape card, 6 tools. Now, here's the interesting thing. What do we get? Well, we get a frame. A lot of the newer cards these days don't have this frame. They're utilising more of the card set, but I don't hold anything against it because the frames themselves can keep the card sort of more secure. That's sort of fine. Then we have some tools. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. Now look at the back. It tells you here that you have a rake pick. That's true. It's a snake rake. I'll talk about why it's a bit to begin with. Then we have a saw, which from this it looks like it's well finished, but it's so well finished that I'm wondering if it's sharp enough. Then we have a tension wrench, which looks like you have to bend it yourself. Again, not a problem. There's a couple of sets out there which do that. Then we have 2 zip tie cuff shims, but look, rounded, pointed, rounded. I wonder whether it used to be pointed, but because of this, maybe it's because it was so sharp, they changed it. I don't know why, but it looks like that design has changed to a new version. Maybe it's for safety, maybe it's I couldn't say. And then it says a finger pick, but it really just means a hook pick, because both of these are finger picks, aren't they? I think we can open it without having to cut anything. I haven't opened it before, haven't even looked at it. This is the first time we're looking at this all together. So here is the card itself. It says stainless steel, 0.5 mils, so it's pretty flexible. But here is like a little card wallet. It should fit in there, I believe, with no issues whatsoever. So in terms of the general size of it and things, it's not so bad. I'm struggling to get it into. I think it's catching. There we go. Let's have a go at taking this apart and see what we get. Right, where to start? What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away, have a play with these, and then record me using them and maybe talking about how they use them and come back and conclude it. So first off is the saw. Actually, I would say that whilst that's not incredibly sharp, it's actually sharper than I thought it was going to be. If you look there, I don't know whether by accident or design, maybe it's an etching or watercutting process, it's sort of added a double edge to it, which has left it a bit sharper than I expected. Would it cut through a cable tie? Well, I've got a cable tie here. Oh, that just pulled out. So go. In a pinch. Yeah, I mean, it's literally better than nothing. I like the fact it's quite long, it's quite big, and it's got a hole in here, so should you want to lash it on something, it's got an option there. Is it going to be particularly useful or sharp? I'm not entirely sure. Let me see if I can find a lolly stick and cut through that. Okay, do you know what? Better than I thought it would cope. It's not particularly sharp, but it does work. You could definitely cut through some cord, tape, cable ties with a bit of effort. But yeah, it works. It's not particularly sharp, but it's sharp enough. And that's, I guess, all that matters. Next up, let's look at these little shims. So they're supposed to be for cable ties, but also I've got bigger cable ties here and also handcuffs. So let's, since they are literally identical, let's try and see whether they can shim cable ties. So you should be able to slip out the tie itself. I should have got a longer one, but I think that will work. You push it in far enough, like that, it should allow you to slip the cable tie out. Oh, bending it. There we go, like that. So it does work. It does work. Let's try it on a bigger one. Again, you won't be able to go through the front, but if you can somehow shim it through the back, there you go. It does work, just needs a bit of a push. However, that was, say, around your wrist, like this, really tight. Would you be able to get your shim in? I don't know. But it could work in a pinch, and therefore I'll give it maybe the benefit of the doubt. Certainly very soft though. If it was a bit firmer, it would have been a little easier to push in. So here we go with some handcuffs. Same sort of thing here, in that what we're going to be trying to do is pushing down these two ratchets here, like that, using a shim. So let's assume that they're locked. Can we get under there to push these down? Maybe, is there a longer one? Yeah, this is slightly longer, so we're going to have a go at getting in there and pushing down those ratchets, if I can get under there. There we go. So I've got that in, and then we can slide that out like that. Let's try that again. So might need to push it in with the ratchet a little bit to get it going, like this. The first time I've used it, so there we go, like that. So I might need to push it in a bit with it, and once you've got it in, you push it all the way, and then you'll be able to do that, and you've essentially shimmed your handcuff. So, okay, yes, it does work. If they were really super tight on your hands, it would make it harder, but it works. Okay, right, okay. So far, not brilliant, but it sort of works. So who am I to say? Right. Now next up are the picks. This is where it might get a bit wonky, because look at that. This is a very thick shank. That's not so much of a bother, but look how small the tip is here. This will just act like a probe more than anything else. I'll cut away. I'll try and find a lock that this works on. I'll give it a go. I mean, I'm struggling to think. I'll try and find like a Master Lock 3 or something. So here's a Master Lock 3. The bitting on this lock is very, very simple. I've raked and rocked this with relatively flat, so it's not that key there, sorry, relatively flat rakes before now. You've probably seen this lock itself in hundreds, if not thousands of my videos. I don't think I've done thousands, but you get my point. And there is your tension tool. So the idea is you would put that in and then bend it in the lock like that, and it would provide tension. If it's struggling a bit there because it's sliding round, but it could tension it. Oh no, look, it's actually so soft it's actually bending the other way. That's not going to work. Let me try doing this then on the other way. Bend it the other way at the top like this. There we go. And see if I can make a top of the keyway tensioner. So now I've got a Z wrench. Look at that. See? Right, in we go. I'm not holding out this is going to work. I might be able to get it to work. Let's have a go. Okay, I've tried this a few times now. I'm really struggling it just feels like it's a flat piece of metal. It doesn't give any lift to these pins. The only way I can possibly do it is if I can somehow just use it as a flat piece of metal and try to rock these pins into submission. But it just feels like you're using a probe in there. I'm not saying I can't get it, but it would be luck more than anything, it wouldn't be like good design making it work. I'll try the bottom of the keyway again, but I might be able to use it as sort of a pick. If I like this bitting so bad, I might be able to somehow do something there, but it's just not working out for me at all. Getting tension's difficult, and this, it just is. I'm sorry, that is just too flat to be really of any use, unless it might as well just be a probe. It's not very much use as a rake, I don't think. But we do have the hook. Now that is way too deep to get into pretty much any keyway. So here is a standard Eurocylinder. I take the key out, and you'll see that it's way too deep. Anything low set will, yeah, it won't pick in paracentric keyways, and it's just way too deep. It needs filing down. If you could just file it down to a short hook, maybe in the packet, it would be better, but we're going to go with it as it is. Less paracentric keyways like this Master Lock 3, where it might be useful. So I'm going to try and pick this using this. I think I'm going to really struggle to get enough tension to bind the pins in this lock, because this does like a bit of heavy tension. I'm going to try again. Aha! I picked a pin. Can I do it? Come on. Yes, we did it. Okay, so you can see a bend there, and that you can tell I couldn't have used heavy tension because this would have just bent, and the hook's bent already. I just think that the steel is way too soft. This is so soft, this steel. It's so soft. It's unbelievable. Could it open and lock in a pinch? Well, only if you've got a lock with a very deep, very wide open keyway. And I think that if you're really relying on this set to pick locks, you'd be very, very lucky if it worked out for you. I think if you're going to get this kit, the first thing I'd do is, because it's in the frame, like I don't know which way around it was, something like that, for example, you could get in there and you could just snip or file off this into a bit of a short hook. That would make it much, much, much better. And certainly for some locks which aren't as sprung as these, this could work if you don't have a core spring. So if you're going to put it into a lock like this, you could use that as top of the keyway tensioning. It would probably pick it if you made it into a short hook. So yeah, how do we conclude this? Well, some bits of it surprised me. So certainly the saw was actually a little bit sharper and more usable than I thought. I thought it would just basically be like a butter knife and have no substance to it whatsoever. It was slightly better than that. Not a lot, but slightly. The shims, very soft, but yep, with a bit of effort, they worked. I think you would struggle if you had a cable tie around your wrist to get these shims in, but with a bit of jiggling and wriggling in a situation where you were just going to go for it, it could work. The picks, well, the snake rake is basically useless. It's completely pointless. It just needs more profile at the tip. As it stands, you might as well just have a flat piece of metal, another shim if you like. The hook, usable, but definitely I would, knowing what it's like, is just file it down before I take it apart for my wallet. Just file it down and make it into a short hook. You get into more locks. The tension tool, it does work in a pinch, but the steel is so soft, it's going to deform very quickly. You can't put a lot of tension on, so I think you need to be a relatively experienced lockpicker to be able to use that. Overall, it kind of works. Is it worth it? Well, you know what's out there. I think it's best that you decide whether you think this kit's worth it. I've tried to be as fair as I can. You let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, I do read all the comments. I reply to as many as I can. If you like this video, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Really appreciate it, and thank you all for watching.